Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Vishal Dahiya. Let's take a look at the headlines first. A day after resignation, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Government looks at potential successors. Minister of State for Home Kiren Rijiju meets Manipur Chief Minister Okram Ibobi. Singh says state government can't escape responsibility for humanitarian crisis due to 52-day economic blockade. Centre Defence moved to grant domicile certificates to West Pakistan refugees in Jammu and Kashmir. Refutes charges that the decision is motivated by Hindutva agenda. Man believed to be suspect in the Berlin Christmas market truck attack killed in Milan. The dead man was identified as 24-year-old Tunisian. Let's now take a look at the news in detail. Outgoing Delhi's Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung on Friday met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and apprised him of the reasons for his resignation. Focus has now shifted to the search for Jung's successor as the central government is reportedly mulling over a number of options to replace the LG.
A day after the surprise resignation of Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung, the centre is reportedly discussing names for his successor. However, as per reports, the government has not yet accepted Jung's resignation. In a related development, Jung met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and apprised him of the reasons for his resignation. He said he requested the Prime Minister to relieve him after 3 years as Delhi LG. Meanwhile, Minister of State for Home Hansraj Gangaram Ahir said the government had not forced Jung to tender his resignation.
मुझे लगता नहीं कि ऐसी कोई हलचल की बात है इसमें। कोई भी व्यक्ति, कोई भी अधिकारी अपने निजी स्तर पे निर्णय ले सकता है। उन्होंने निर्णय लिया है। प्रोसेस चल रही है अभी हो सकता है हमारे होम सेक्रेटरी साहब का उसका अर्जी इस्तीफा पहुंचा होगा, एचएम साहब का उसमें जाएगा, उस पर निर्णय होगा। हम प्रोसेस में हम भेज देंगे राष्ट्रपति महोदय के पास में, एचएम साहब करेंगे।
Earlier, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia met the outgoing Lieutenant Governor at his residence.
कुछ इंसिडेंट्स इस तरह के होते रहे दिल्ली में, चिकनगुनिया वगैरह का और इस सब का, इसलिए वो इस्तीफा नहीं कर पाए, वो छोड़ नहीं पाए, लेकिन उनका मन 1 साल से था, ऐसा उन्होंने मुझे बताया.
Meanwhile, reports said that Anil Bajal, who was Home Secretary in the Atal Bihari Vajpayee-led BJP government, reportedly tops the list of probables for the Lieutenant General's position. Former Delhi Police Commissioner B.S. Basi and Puducherry Governor Kiran Bedi are already doing the rounds as potential candidates for the post. 66-year-old Jung resigned on Thursday, citing personal reasons for his decision.
After Najeeb Jung's resignation, lot of new names for the post of Lieutenant Governor are in discussion. But will the Kejriwal government understand the constitutional position of Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, as the constitution and law will remain the same no matter who the next LG is? With video journalist Shamlal Anudivan for Rajya Sabha TV.
The 2-day GST Council ended in New Delhi on Friday. It will now meet again on January 3rd and 4th to iron out pending issues. A decision on dual control and IGST are pending, while there was agreement on law for compensating states. The Finance Minister said that dual control and cross-empowerment are the 2 issues that remain to be sorted, while the rest of the draft of supporting GST laws has been approved. A legally vetted draft of law for compensation to the states will be placed before the GST Council at the next meeting. Consensus has eluded on the model GST law. The subsequent GST legislations, CGST, IGST and compensation law could not be introduced in the winter session of Parliament that ended last week, and this has threatened the April 2017 rollout target.
So the primary draft of CGST and the SGST law, comprising of 197 provisions and 5 schedules, has been approved. There were some portions which were left out, on which either some representation was made by a state government or we could not reach a consensus. So today morning we went into each one of those issues, and many of those issues have been sorted out. And now with regard to the draft, only a few issues remain. Only those blanks are there which relates to dual control and cross-empowerment.
Manipur is struggling with an economic blockade, protests and violence for more than 50 days. Normal life is paralyzed as the state faces shortages and escalating costs of essential supplies like food and fuel. Union Minister Kiren Rijiju today reached Manipur to review the situation. He did not say if the blockade will end anytime soon.
As the economic blockade entered its 53rd day, Minister of State for Home Kiren Rijiju visited Imphal on Friday to review the situation. He met the Manipur Chief Minister and other officials over the disruption being caused by the United Naga Council.
We are very well aware of what you have already projected the issue here. Despite that, if there are anything additional which we need to take steps, we'll definitely take it.
Rijiju stressed that the Manipur government must discharge its constitutional duties by ending the blockade immediately and bring back normalcy to the state. He also added that the central government wants law and order to prevail in the state.
Road blockade is unacceptable, and the state government has to ensure that there is no further road blockade. And for that, the support will be given by us.
However, the ground situation continues to be worrisome. 3 government offices, including the office of recently created Kamjong district, were burnt down by unidentified persons. In another incident, 2 rooms of the mini secretariat were set on fire by unidentified persons in Ukhrul district on Friday.
Out of anger, we have started this controlled economic blockade, and I would say that we are not against anybody, let it be Nagas, Cookies or anybody. We are just, it's a form of protest. It's a form of protest against the government, that why they are letting us suffer for the past 50 days.
The United Naga Council is enforcing the blockade to denounce the creation of 7 new districts from areas inhabited by the Nagas in Manipur. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The centre government today defended its move to grant domicile certificates to West Pakistan refugees. Dismissing charges that the move had a Hindutva agenda behind it, the government said the nation owes it to them to ensure that the refugees had dignified means of livelihood. Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, Singh, said the state government, in consultation with the Home Ministry, devised a mechanism where each of the refugees could be provided a proof of identity so that he or she could be enabled to apply for government jobs.
Defending its move to grant domicile certificates to West Pakistan refugees in Jammu and Kashmir, the centre on Friday refuted charges that the move had a Hindutva agenda behind it. It claimed that the nation owed refugees a dignified means of livelihood. Centre said it has devised a mechanism where each of the refugees could be provided a proof of identity so as to enable them to apply for government jobs.
These are some of the persons who have been there in the last 70 years, but because of certain constitutional reasons, they do not have the citizenship certificate or the state subject certificate, and therefore I think the nation owes to give them some kind of an identity proof so that at least they could apply for a job.
Both the opposition and separatist parties have come together to oppose the decision. They allege that the government was removing the roadblocks in integrating refugees into the state. The separatists have called statewide protests from Friday. Police and paramilitary forces have been asked to maintain law and order.
They say that this is a dilution of the special status, and this will also change the demography because majority of the, not only majority, but the West Pakistan refugees are basically Hindus and Sikhs, and so they are protesting against it, and they have once again tried to vitiate the peaceful situation in Jammu and Kashmir. This is highly condemnable.
Anybody who belongs to Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh and is a permanent resident of Jammu and Kashmir will not allow anybody to trample the state subject laws which have been brought into the state in 1927 by Maharaja Hari Singh. And any attempt to do so will be resisted by everybody who belongs to Jammu and Kashmir.
वेस्ट पाकिस्तान से हैं, इनको पाकिस्तान पंजाब से है, इनको इंडियन पंजाब में बसाना चाहिए या वापस पाकिस्तानी पंजाब भेज दो या और कहीं अंडोमान निकोबार में बसा दो, लेकिन यहाँ किसी भी सूरत में हम ये इनको रहने की इजाजत नहीं देंगे। अगर रह रहे हैं शरणार्थी तो रह जाए, हमें उससे कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, मगर सिटेड सब्जेक्ट किसी भी सूरत में हम इनको देने नहीं देंगे, क्योंकि ये मुतनाज़ा खत्ता है। अगर ऐसा होता है तो हम यहाँ एक नई एजिटेशन स्टार्ट होगी, जिसकी जो कहीं थमने वाली एजिटेशन नहीं होगी।
Independent legislator Sheikh Abdul Rashid and his supporters were detained in Srinagar after they protested against the move. The state government on Thursday clarified it was not granting domicile certificates but instead was issuing identity cards.
जहाँ आके 70 सालों से हम लोग जहाँ रह रहे हैं, हमारी जहाँ 4 जनरेशनें जो वो ख़त्म हो चुकी हैं, और आज भी अगर हमें जम्मू कश्मीर में जहाँ की नागरिकता ना मिले तो इससे दुखद और क्या समाचार होगा।
The West Pakistan refugees settled in Jammu and Kashmir are citizens of India and have the right to vote in parliamentary elections. However, they are not permanent residents of the state under the Jammu and Kashmir constitution. They do not enjoy voting rights to the state assembly and local bodies. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi addressed a rally on Friday in Uttarakhand's Almora district. He once again criticized the government's move to demonetize old 500 and 1,000 rupee notes and called the move an economic robbery. Rahul also said more than 100 people have lost their lives since the announcement and claimed that the Prime Minister was mocking the poor by calling them thieves. He reiterated that all cash is not black money and all black money is not cash. However, he also asserted that the Congress party is committed to obliterate corruption from the country. He also demanded to know the names of those who have been hoarding black money.
नोटबंदी काले धन के खिलाफ निर्णय नहीं था, भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ निर्णय नहीं था। नोटबंदी एक आर्थिक डकैती थी, आर्थिक डकैती। 2.5 साल से नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सिर्फ एक काम किया है, हिंदुस्तान के गरीबों पर आक्रमण करा है।
In the wake of increased digital payments post-demonetization, the Home Ministry has asked digital payment and e-commerce companies to beef up their cybersecurity. Home Ministry has reportedly told the Information Technology Ministry and concerned agencies to communicate the concerns of the government to the companies involved in e-commerce. The ministry said the threat of cyber attacks cannot be ignored, especially when people are adopting digital payments as a new way of life. Let's now take a look at some more news and updates from across the country in Nationwide. Congress on Friday released a list of 16 more candidates for the upcoming Punjab Assembly elections. The party dropped 2 sitting MLAs and renominated 6 others by bringing in 4 fresh faces. The announcement was made after Congress President Sonia Gandhi cleared the names at a meeting of the Central Election Committee. With this, Congress has announced 77 candidates, including the previous list of 61 candidates. The CBI has asked Uttarakhand Chief Minister Harish Rawat to appear before it on December 26 in connection with a probe into the purported sting operation case. This is the second time that Rawat has been summoned on a preliminary inquiry registered by it. The alleged sting operation took place on April 29th, showing Rawat offering bribes to rebel Congress lawmakers in order to support him during a floor test in the Uttarakhand Assembly. The Enforcement Directorate on Friday issued a fresh attachment order worth 44 crores in connection with its money laundering probe in the Madurai granite scam case in Tamil Nadu. The agency said it has provisionally attached properties worth 44 crores of Aishwarya Rock Exports, Madurai and other under the provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Let's take a short break here.
biology happening at almost every scale on this campus, from the molecular scale to the scale of the study of ecosystems. Been involved in discovering mechanisms that are fundamental to all cells that are creating these endocytic processes. If you think about castes as interbreeding communities, small interbreeding communities, one can just see the consequences of consanguinity that castes would inevitably bring.
Watch Eureka with Professor Satyajit Mayer, Director NCBS Bengaluru on Rajya Sabha Television.
Homai Vyarawala, better known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. Vyarawala entered the field of photojournalism in the late 1930s. For nearly 30 years, till she retired in the early 1970s, at the peak of her career, she made a massive impact. Vyarawala clicked some iconic pictures of political and national leaders. Gandhiji, Nehru, Jinnah, Indira Gandhi have been subjects of her vast photographic collection. Prime Minister Nehru, she says, was her favourite. In 2011, Homai Vyarawala was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award. Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. The Tunisian men suspected of carrying out the deadly Berlin truck attack at the Christmas market on Monday was shot dead by police in Milan on Friday. The Italian government said Amri was fatally shot after he fired at two police officers who stopped his car for a routine identity check around 3 a.m. The government said that identity checks had established without a shadow of doubt that the dead man was Amri.
A man believed to be the suspect in the Berlin Christmas market truck attack was killed in a shootout on Friday in a suburb in the Italian city of Milan. The shooting reportedly took place before dawn. The dead man was identified as 24-year-old Tunisian Anis Amri.
La persona uccisa è risultata essere, dopo tutte le indagini che si fanno in questo caso, senza ombra di dubbio, Anis Amri, il presunto sospettato dell'attacco terroristico a Berlino. Questa notte alle 3 del mattino a Sesto San Giovanni, Milano, nel corso di normale attività di controllo del territorio.
The shooting in Milan was followed by news that German police had arrested two men suspected of planning an attack on a shopping mall in Oberhausen in North Rhine-Westphalia. The suspects were identified as two brothers aged 28 and 31 from Kosovo.
Die Polizei Essen hat gestern gegen 18 Uhr einen Hinweis erhalten aus Sicherheitskreisen, dass möglicherweise ein Anschlag auf das Einkaufszentrum in Oberhausen oder auf den dazugehörigen Weihnachtsmarkt geplant sei. Daraufhin haben wir unsere Polizeikräfte vor Ort verstärkt und wir haben natürlich parallel Ermittlungen aufgenommen zu den beiden Tatverdächtigen.
On Thursday, the Christmas market reopened in Berlin, 3 days after a truck ploughed into a crowd at the market, killing 9 people and injuring 50 others. Flowers and candles were laid at the entrance of the Christmas market. Many people mourned the victims and prayed for those injured in the attack.
Wir gehen ja gerade deswegen hierher, weil wir einfach zeigen wollen, dass das Leben auch einfach weitergehen muss, auch nach so einer schrecklichen Tat.
Natürlich fühle ich da mit den Menschen, die dort auch Angehörige oder Freunde verloren haben, aber ansonsten hat sich bei mir überhaupt nichts verändert.
A massive influx of refugees is considered one of the reasons for the current insecurity in Germany. So whether the German government will review and readjust its refugee policy has been the major concern of the local people.
Ich denke, es gibt überall schwarze Schafe, ob bei den Flüchtlingen, ob unter uns. Also man kann das nicht pauschalisieren, wir wollen es auch nicht pauschalisieren. Aber wenn er eben sowas macht, finde ich, gehört er einfach nicht in unser Land.
The police have set up cement barriers in large Christmas markets all over the country to avoid a similar attack. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Hours after diverting a Libyan aircraft, 2 hijackers surrendered to the authorities at Malta airport. All passengers and crew have been safely released. The Airbus A320 was flying inside Libya for state-owned airlines Africa Airways with 118 people on board. The hijackers threatened to blow the plane up. The demands of the hijackers are still unclear. One of the hijackers told the flight crew that he was pro-Gaddafi. Libya has been in a state of chaos since Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown in 2011, leaving warring militias battling for control of different parts of the country. Forces loyal to a fledgling national unity government have taken control of the coastal city of Sirte, which had been a bastion for the Islamic State group since June 2015. Now let's take a look at some more international news in Global Buzz. At least 38 civilians were reportedly killed in 24 hours of Turkish airstrikes on an Islamic State group in northern Syria on Friday. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a barrage of raids hit Al-Bab on Thursday, killing 72 civilians, including 21 children. Bombardment continued till today, leaving another 16 civilians dead. Turkish forces and the Syrian rebel allies have been seeking to capture Al-Bab, about 25 kilometers from the northern Syrian border, for weeks now. The World Health Organization on Friday said an experimental Ebola vaccine has been found to be 100% effective against the deadly virus. The vaccine is the first to prevent infection from one of the most lethal known pathogens. WHO said if approved, the vaccine would vastly reduce the likelihood of ever seeing another major Ebola outbreak. China said on Friday its government was paying attention to President-elect Donald Trump's Twitter post where he called for an expansion of the United States' nuclear capabilities. On Thursday, Trump called for an expansion of the US's nuclear capabilities. The call has alarmed non-proliferation experts who said that a boost to the US arsenal would fuel global tensions. Let's now take a look at SportsBeat. India jumped 2 places to finish the year 2016 at 135th place in the latest FIFA football rankings, their best in the last 6 years. In 2009, India had finished at 134. National coach Stephen Constantine attributed the upsurge to all his players and the staff. Constantine, however, said India have improved, but there is still a lot more to achieve. India's 5-time Winter Olympian Shiva Keshwan clinched a gold medal at the Asian Luge Championship in Nagano, Japan. Keshwan dominated the event and finished the 2-heat race with a time of 1 minute 39.962 seconds and top speed of 130.4 km per hour. Chelsea has agreed to a £60 million move for midfielder Oscar to Shanghai SIPG. The club said his transfer move will be complete at the beginning of the January transfer window. Oscar had joined Chelsea in 2012 and has scored 38 times in 203 appearances for the club. That's all in News Tonight. Keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.